Hi, thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to be looking at this little beauty. It's almost 40 years since the original VIC-20 was released. This is the VIC-20 and it's been released by Retro Games Limited. Stick around to find out more. Back in June, after hearing that the VIC-20 was going to be made available for pre-order, I couldn't help myself. I popped on over to their Amazon and the VIC-20 happened to just fall off into my basket, completely by itself. Several months later, it was then just a matter of Steve here checking off my order and sending it on its way. The next day. So let's take a look inside the box and see what we get. First things first, let's pull off this plastic cover. Get rid of that. Okay, the box is really nice. It's true to the design of the original VIC-20. And I did spot these pictures online earlier today when I had a quick look, and the recreation of these is very nice as well. Let's have a quick look about opening this. So, a couple of little plastic seals. Okay, let's see what we've been waiting for all this time. Okay, so let you get a nice look in there. So we've got the VIC-20 itself, which instantly I can see is a slightly lighter or more yellowy colour than the C64. We've got all the accessories in here, and the machine itself is underneath this plastic keyboard dust cover. So let's remove that and take it out and have a look. And let's pop this on here. Let's get the accessories out and let's get rid of this box. Okay, so first thing, the VIC-20, your power LED, the keyboard. What's quite nice, I think, if we compare this to the C64. So here I have the C64. As you can see, this is a lot browner. The font on the keys, this is very different as well. So this is more true to the PET style. Let's have a look at the height. So they look the same. Underneath, let's have a look underneath. Okay, so again the same mouldings underneath. 339 is my serial number of the VIC-20. Nice. Let's get rid of my C64 over there. Okay, and let's have a look at what's in the accessories box. So we've got the VIC-20 joystick. So just like with the C64, this is a micro switched one. Okay, and we have the special menu buttons on here to call up the carousel, etc. Okay, nice. As you see, obviously the color is different as well from the C64 joystick. We have a quick, the VIC-20 quick guide. But I think it's fairly self-explanatory, isn't it? Plug it in, power it on, and follow the instructions. And here we have the leads. So we have an HDMI lead, micro USB lead, and a USB charger or USB power supply. Now, if you're ordering this from Amazon.co.uk and you don't live in the UK and you're concerned about what type of plug you get, don't worry, you don't need this. You can get rid of this, and you just need to plug this into a USB supply capable of delivering. Let's have a look how many amps. what have we got on here? Up to 1 amp out. So 5 volts up to 1 amp out. Okay. So the next thing, I suppose, is to get this. Oh, actually, before the next thing, let's have a look at the back. We have got power in, HDMI out, single USB socket. On the side here, we've got 3 USB sockets and the power switch. So that's exactly the same as VC64, which is no surprise really, since on the box, let's grab this. We do see in green here, limited edition VC64. Okay, so let's get this powered on and have a look at what's on it. The VIC-20 boots to this startup screen where you can select your language. So I'm going to select English. Obviously it's not that button, not that button. We'll go for that button. Enable 50 Hz for their output video outside of North America, or 60 Hz if you're in North America. Well, I'm outside, so let's go for this one. Video test mode will enter, that's fine. Now we can have this boot to the carousel, or we can have it boot to the VIC-20 classic mode. I'm going to go to the carousel. Eventually work out which one of these buttons it is. So what I think I'll do, I'll put a list of these games in the description of the video so that we don't have to go all the way through this, as it's going to take too long. Let's call up one of these games. It's as easy as pressing the fire button to load it. Please bear in mind that I'm watching this on my PC screen via an HDMI capture device, so there is some lag, so I'm not going to be able to play this very well. But there we go. Okay, so no. In fact, I'm not going to be able to play it at all. So let's have a look what else we've got on here. Back to the exit games. Let's go down to the menu. So we have the display setup, so we can have Perfect Pixel CRT. Let's try this. Now, if I recall, when I looked at the C64, you don't see these scan lines until you start a game. Get some scan lines there. What else do we have on the menu? The language and the device settings. So computer model. Now, when we ran through the initial setup, I set this up for PAL, so that's the 50 Hz output. You can also set it up for the VIC-20 NTSC, C64 PAL, or C64 NTSC. As mentioned on the box, this is a limited edition C64, or sorry, it is a limited edition VC64. What else have we got? Boot mode. So you can boot straight to the classic or to the carousel. Legal notices, blah blah blah. System information. Okay, so the version of firmware this is running, the C64 1.4.1. Now this is interesting that obviously it's all badged as the VIC-20, but there is that green bit on the box that says it's a limited edition VC64. Here we are seeing that again in here. So switch to classic mode. Commodore Business Machines Basic version 2, 3.5 kilobytes of RAM. What am I going to do with all of this memory? I know. And I think everybody has typed something similar to this at some stage. Okay, let's get out of this list. So we, not loist, list. List, so we can play about and type in some basic, or we can go back to, before I go back to the options, let's have a look at media access. Okay, so here you can select to simulate a disk drive, cartridge slot, or cassette and put something in there. That'd be quite handy if you're going to type in your own applications. So just like on VC64, you could do this. You can put in a virtual disk drive here and save your, sorry, not put in a virtual disk drive, you can put in a virtual disk and save your applications to that virtual disk. So let's get back out of here. Oops, and exit to carousel mode. So I'm looking forward to playing with this a little bit more, seeing what games are available for this, any modern games that have been written. I've downloaded a few for the C64 and I really enjoyed them. So yeah, I'll get back to you in another video. So to sum up, I think that this is a really nice bit of kit. The colour is quite distinctive, so you can really see that this is the VIC-20 and not the C64 straight off. The joystick, nice colour. I didn't like it when I first saw it, you know, when I saw it advertised on Amazon, but it's growing on me. I think because it matches the case. I like the pet style keys as well. The feel of the keys are quite nice. Obviously for the hardcore person who is really into their old Commodore machines, this does not have a cartridge port at the back. You're not going to be able to play those cartridge games. You're not going to be able to hook up original disc drives or cassettes. This is, I think, more aimed at the casual gamer who wants to experience some of the nostalgia of maybe their childhood. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. So thanks very much for watching. Take care. Don't forget to like and subscribe.